So I'll pause that. We'll let it run for a little.
These aren't hot, are they?
No.
Why this song? I love this. Just love the song.
I love the song. Yeah, it's blowing up on TikTok right now. And we're live. Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Talk About It. I'm joined with
Julia. And this is Gabber.
Yep, Julia and Gab in the studio. No, sorry guys, funny joke. We had to start off with a joke because I'm with a comedian. Obviously, there will be a lot of jokes this episode, so brace yourself, get ready for some laughs. But yeah, Julia's not here tonight because she is celebrating her birthday. Tomorrow is Julia's birthday.
Tomorrow's my wife's birthday, January 15th.
No way.
Martin Luther King Day.
No way.
Wow, I didn't even know that. I'm in the bullpen. Yeah, they pull me in when Julia can't make it, but here I am.
I've been actually dying to have Pat on the show because he is so funny. He's great. He has a cool story. And this show is all about sharing stories, talking about life.
Wingmen.
Yeah, just talking about how people got to where they are and, maybe we'll talk about some struggles faced along the way. But yeah, Pat, thank you so much for filling in for Julia.
No problem. If even a little quick background on me, I am very good friends with Gab's father, Rick.
Yes.
And we were wingmen together back in high school. We've stayed in touch over the years. We had tea times together. He is my man. He's one of my best friends.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Like your guys' friendships that you have from growing up, I've never seen any sort of thing that can compare.
Our group is strange where most people, I see with Long Islanders, they stay in touch more with their high school friends. Like we all went to college. I went to Maryland. Rick went to Syracuse. We all went away, but we all stayed in touch with each other. Where other people, I don't know, I've just seen over my life is like they stay in touch with their college relationships. But our high school relationships have always stayed strong throughout the years, all of us.
Right.
So,
yeah.
good core group of like 15, 20 guys that, still always stay in touch.
Yeah. No, it's incredible. For me, for girls, I think it's always different. Girls, it's different. I don't really.
Depends on the girl, exactly.
Yeah. I could count on one hand the amount of people I keep up with from college and high school, but yeah, different story.
That's my wife. So my wedding party, my wife had she had her 3 sisters and 6 other girls in the wedding party, and she doesn't really stay in touch with any of them.
Yeah, actually, that's a thing.
There was no fight. There was no falling out. It's just they just go their separate ways.
They grow apart because, I guess because women usually follow the lives of who they marry and
Which I heard you just went to a fortune teller recently.
Yes.
And not this year, but next year is your big year.
Yep, next year's my big year, you guys.
But she's going on vacation this year to find out.
Yes.
If it could be next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I'm going on vacations, guys. I saw a psychic prior to this and found out a lot. Love is not my main focus this year, but my career is, and I need to go on vacation and reset and realign because life's been crazy, and she knew.
She's also a travel agent, so that didn't know.
Yeah. Imagine.
Yes. I have a good deal for you. You can go down to Cancun.
Yeah, use my link. That's so funny. That would actually work out. Honestly, not bad. I'm someone who likes to have a lot of jobs, so I think that's actually smart if you're a psychic and then you can just send people on vacations and say, you need this.
Well, that'd be a great job to be a psychic because you know when you have to go to work and you don't.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't have to go until Wednesday. No one's coming in until Wednesday.
Yeah.
Because I'm a psychic.
Yeah, I know no one's going to call me.
Exactly. I never understand when you see a psychic shop and it says open. Like, don't you know when they're coming in?
Yeah. But no, it's funny. There's a psychic in Babylon, New York, calling this one out right now. It's on Main Street. And if you drive through Main Street into past Babylon, you've probably seen it. It's
like
tiny
Argyle
little shop.
Lake, that area?
Yeah, it's past Argyle, more towards West Islip. But this guy's always closed. Like, he's never there. It's never there. It always says open, but he's never in there. So
he knows. He knows the future.
Yeah, he knows who he doesn't want to talk to, and it's me because whenever I go to see him, he's not there. But anyways,
so
amazing.
You want to do the Life Vac? What do you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, we need to mention this show is sponsored by Life Vac.
Great foundation. Great.
Sponsored by Life Vac.
Actually, I have 2 of them now, and I sent one down to my son, who's a firefighter down in Charleston, South Carolina.
Amazing.
Yep, he's got it in his house.
Yeah, we talk. Sorry. We talk about this every single show, but we have to never forget to mention Life Vac. Place, push, pull. You don't know, now you know. This device could save you in a choking emergency. And yeah, Pat is making sure his son is stacked up.
Yeah, up till 2016, they really didn't. They were trying to get the word out. In 2016, they had 10 or 11 saves, and since then they're up to 3,300 and something.
3,400 actually. I just saw
reported. And they say a lot of people don't report it, but that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. We hear these stories every week when I when I talk to the people at LifeVac, and it's actually really moving.
It's beautiful.
Yep.
And then they have the whole Hall of Saves in their office. Yeah.
I hope to be in there eventually.
You never walk through it?
Well, no, I hope to be on the wall because I eat a lot of steak.
Oh.
I hope eventually to have to use the apparatus on me. I finally made a hall of fame.
No, well, you did make pretty impressive, like, in 2011, you were named the funniest comedian on Long Island, you guys.
Right. That's right.
That's not to go unnoticed. That's pretty amazing.
Out of 64, well, I was going to, it's not 64 great comics. I don't like 10 good comics.
Okay.
About 54 weren't that good at all. But.
Yeah, wait, so can we get into that? Your comedy.
My comedy career?
Your comedy career, yeah. How did you get started into it? Were you always a funny guy?
Yeah,
or did something you had to practice?
Late. So my friends always thought I was funny. And when I was a kid, even getting old, and everyone was, hey, you should try stand-up comedy. I bartended when I was younger, just to make ends meet. Married, 3 kids, couple jobs. And everyone was always like, you should do stand-up comedy. So a friend of ours, Brian Kilmeade, signed me up for a comedy class in the city at the comic strip on 82nd and 1st in Manhattan. And he said, just go in there. I signed you up for it. And so I go in, I start taking the classes. And Brian's calling me and saying, what'd you do in this class? What'd you do? I go, well, you took the class. He goes, no, I never really took the class. I just wanted you to take the class because I thought you'd be great at it.
Wow.
So, like the first time I walked in, D.F. Sweedler was my instructor. And he's like, everyone needs 5 to 8 minutes of comedy. So I sat down with him and he goes, you have 25 minutes of comedy. This is unbelievable. Because I've been bartending for so long and trying,
the stories. I bartended too for a little fun fact. Yeah. And so stories for days.
Makes you comfortable in front of a crowd.
Yes.
But then when you start doing, you're still nervous, when you still would do comedy. But you hear that first laugh and then things are pretty good. So I've been pretty fortunate. All the big places I worked at, I worked at Caroline's in the city. They're out of business now.
Okay.
When I used to go out to Vegas, I worked at the Riviera. They're out of business. So most of the places I work at are no longer in business, but I'm always at.
You were too good. You burned the place down.
You have to retire. Once Pat O'Rourke goes, it's done.
Yeah. They had to close because nothing would even be better than that.
Yes. Even the Vegas, when I was out there, my kids were I actually only had 2 kids at the time. I have 3 now, but I had a son who was 4 and a son who was 2, and my wife was pregnant. I went out there like 2 or 3 times a year, and they said, we want you to come out every 3rd week. We'll hire you for 18 weeks, and we'll pay you this much. But I had a full-time job at the time, so I couldn't do it. So I remember going upstairs and calling my brother Jimmy. So it's like 11 o'clock at night in Vegas, so it's 2 or 3 in the morning. He's back in Boston. And I said, they're offering me the job to come here, every 3rd week. And he said, Patrick, you'll be in rehab and married to a stripper. So there was a silence, and I said, so yes and no.
Should I go? I think that's
exactly.
a yes.
So obviously, everything worked out okay, though.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Brian was the one who pushed you and got you into it. Do you think had he not done that, do you think you would even...
I can even remember, as a matter of fact, we were at a party at his house at Christmas, and he used to have a little house on Fox Boulevard before he moved to where he is now. And we were just in the kitchen, making everyone laugh and cracking jokes with each other. And he looked at me, he's like, you really should do stand-up. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then like a week later, he called me and said, hey, I signed you up for this class. That's
good. Brian's good at pulling out the best of people, I think. That's one of his skills.
Or throwing gasoline on their fire.
Yeah.
Like he wants everyone to succeed. He wants to see everyone do the best they can.
Yeah.
And he's hard to keep up with, but he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Very, very good
Yeah,
guy.
when you can catch him, it's always good time.
Yes. He's like an uncle to you, obviously, and he's a good friend. He's another one of, in our group of friends, wingmen and, guys you always depend on, guys you can always count on. He's in that group of guys, too.
Yeah.
And it's so happy. He's so satisfying for me to see how well he's doing, in his career. He's, just killing it.
Yeah, all of you guys are doing well in your own ways, I would say. It's cool. It's like Massapequa breeds success, is what I always say. Because a lot of people that I know who are very successful are from there.
Massapequa's like the old Brooklyn. It's like everyone comes from Massapequa. So I had a cousin a couple of years ago. We're up in Cape Cod vacationing, and he's from the Bronx. And we're saying Massapequa this, man. He goes, everything doesn't revolve around Massapequa. The next day on the cover, like the Boston Herald, is Justin Bieber. And he's wearing a Massapequa wrestling shirt because he married Stephen Baldwin's daughter from Massapequa.
Yep.
And my cousin goes, maybe everything does revolve around Massapequa. So
it does. No, I think it does. Yeah, it was like I grew up playing sports. Massapequa, amazing at all the sports that they do too. Obviously, they're very good, but we beat them.
Well, all-American French fries. That's why.
And all-American.
There's steroids in the fries. That's why we're good at sports.
Yes, exactly. Everyone's carved up.
Yep.
Everyone's carved up. Okay. But cool. So what I wanted to talk about, like, I guess, standout shows that you've done and, like, I guess in your comedy career?
Right.
Yeah. What are what
that
are
really
some standout moments that you've?
The first couple of times I did Caroline's, and then I was doing Caroline's for about a year. And Greg Charles, the manager there, said, "We want to give you a night. We can give you Thursday nights." So I had that for about a year and a half, and it was called Broadway Brouhaha. And I got a sponsorship from Bud Light, a good friend of mine, Rich Genovese. And I used to be able to hire whoever I wanted for those shows. And I just had the time of my life. I was, it's Jim Gaffigan and like all these big stars now. Like they would come in at the end of, and come in and do like 15 minutes at the end of the show. You'd have 4 or 5 comics, and they'd come in and close the show. And you literally pay, my budget was, I think my budget was $300. So I'd give the closer $100. And these guys all just to get work would come in, Gaffigan, Pete Coriali, Ted Alexandro, Nick DiPaolo, just all these big names. And I got to meet them all.
That's amazing.
Have them in my phone, and that was that was really cool.
And do you keep in touch with people still from the industry? Or
so I stopped doing it for like 5 or 6 years in the teens when my kids were just at the age where you can't. If you want to do comedy, you have to go in the city 2 or 3 times a week at least.
Yeah, and that's not sustainable if you have young kids going to sports, going to.
And then even like you get sponsored to get in some clubs you get sponsored to get up, and like first shows you do are literally the 12:30 shows where you might not get on until 2 a.m.
Oh,
and you catch it at 4 o'clock train home.
Right.
Or it's a young man's game where you really have to live in the city or not be married.
Yeah.
So, that,
and you chose family and life.
Yep. Which I don't regret.
So, but you got back into it after that 6-month hiatus.
Yeah, and actually Brian sort of pulled me back into it too a couple of years, 5 or 6 years ago when he started doing this show, Liberty, Laughter, and History, Liberty, and Laughter.
Yeah.
So he was going around the country and doing this show about his books, and he said, these DJs from local stations would bring me up, and I would just start talking about history, and there was just no energy in the room. So he's like, I want you to come in and do 15 to 20 minutes of comedy at the beginning of the show, and we'll see how that goes. So I did it once and it went well. And he's like, okay, we're doing this from now on. You're always opening for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And since then it's spread into, you do little skits and your dad MCs the shows now. So it's like a 3-man show. Well, it's a 1-man show with me and your dad.
Yeah, no, I was fortunate enough to go to the one at Peekskill, New York. And if you guys don't know what we're talking about, you said it already, the History, Liberty, and Laughs tour. Yep. Brian Kilmeade does because he wrote a bunch of books and he talks about them, and he's a history nut, and he goes all into it.
Yep.
Breaks it all down. It's a very informative show, but yeah, Pat brings the laughs, and so does my dad. They act out scenes as if they were happening
skits from
in
the
real
books
time.
that Brian wrote. Yes.
So they're very good, very good. And there's a show coming up.
Yes, there's one in
February
in Jacksonville in February, and then he just booked another one in March in St. Louis.
Amazing.
But the best part of that though is, like, if you're a comedian like I was, a road comedian, I'd be doing you'd go out and do Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania, upstate New York, Connecticut, Vermont, go down to Maryland, and they book you, and usually, they give you a room, but it's usually the worst room in the hotel. It's usually right next to the door or check-in, or just always the worst room. Mm-hmm. And then there's some clubs like if they didn't get the crowd they thought, they don't pay as much as it's a tough business. It's just not a good business.
Yeah.
Then you're doing shows with Brian. A van picks you up at the airport, brings you to the theater. You think you're Elvis. You're like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. You fly in nice planes, first class, this and that. One time I was backstage and I was talking to your dad, and I was trying to get a drink, and I'm like, hey, can I get some ice? And the guy gets his walkie-talkie and goes, the talent needs some ice. And I was like, no, I need some ice. He goes, you're the talent. I go, oh my God, I'm the talent. So it's so much fun, especially at our age. When I'm not that young anymore, but to do this now and go do all these shows, and then I got the spark going again. So I go back down to Governors and Brokerage and McGuire's all the time, whenever they'll have me, which is Thursdays, Sundays, a lot of weekends too. Right. And I'm just doing comedy again.
Yeah, I've been to Governors once. I want to go there again. Do you have any shows coming up?
I just did one last week, and I'll let you know. We have some stuff booked.
You have to text me because I think every time I see you, I tell you to text me about it. But now I have your number. So I did want to ask you. So you took the hiatus, and then you got back into it thanks to Brian. Now, what were the major differences, I guess, did you have to change your material, is my question?
Yes.
Because of how society has shifted over the years.
I didn't, but I got banned from a couple clubs and a couple places where they didn't want me back. There was a place out in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. And I just kept doing my stuff how I do my stuff. And I lean right. I'm an independent, but right now I'm a Republican. I'm not a Democrat.
Yeah, me too.
If you lean one way, I lean right. And if you said anything positive about Trump or made fun of anyone in the Democratic Party, you would just canceled the band. It was crazy.
Cancel culture was born while you were.
Yeah. So I was for 2 or 3 from like, and it didn't start. Everyone thinks it started in 2020, like COVID. No, it started in like 2017 with Trump. It was like just everyone was just making fun of Trump, and I was like, I think he's doing a good job. I think my life's better. So I was always doing Trump positive jokes, but I found my crowd. Like even in Long Island, I was surprised. I was doing this stuff in 2020 when it was definitely not in style, and I would get good reception. Mm-hmm. So I just kept doing it. So now everyone's starting to come around to our side, but
right, yeah. There's a shift. It's hard for me to see the shift as much because my not main news source. I don't want to say my main news source is TikTok, but for politics, I think I've told you a little bit about this, like the debates on TikTok.
Sure.
People, it's an app where anybody could say whatever they want. They can go live. It's actually censored to a degree because if you say anything wrong, it will take your live down.
Right.
But yeah, there's just such a big, like, everyone wants to fight. And
well, they're talking about too that the TikTok is like they're canceling it in a couple of days.
Yeah. I don't think that's true. I don't want to admit it.
They'll make a deal where they can do it the right way.
I hope so.
I know that guy, the car dealership guy who owns football teams.
Yeah.
Him and Kevin O'Leary are making a deal to buy it, and they'll take out the Chinese algorithms where, everything doesn't make Trump look like an idiot. Everything doesn't make the Democrats look great. Where you can just decide for yourself. A lot like X right now, I guess.
Do you think that would go through? I'm not sure if TikTok would want to sell.
Well, they might not have any choice.
Yeah.
Because if they're banned,
the amount of business they're going to lose because the United States, like, are you kidding? TikTok Shop is so good.
Yep. You might as well take the money. They offer you crazy money.
I finally started posting a bunch on TikTok too, so this hits me like in the heart personally because I really love it. I love posting, and I started promoting things. I started making money.
Yeah, Trump doesn't want to see it go because there's 6 to 7 million people doing business on it.
And I'd say that TikTok was really
and
a
not
major
just
impact for
like people doing real business, like companies. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. People have switched their entire lives around because of their being able to start up shops and whatnot. But also, I think there was a big push for young people to be Republican or like to support Trump thanks to Charlie Kirk and his efforts and like all the viral.
I was about to say Charlie Kirk. Yeah, he went out to all these campuses and just said, "All right, let's debate. Let's talk about it."
Yeah.
And just crushed.
Let's talk about it. Right. Let's talk about it.
So I think a lot of that happens though at home when you're like how I raise my kids and how in my house is like you can think any way you want, but when they come home and some of these teachers tell them things, I'm like, no, that's not how it really is. Here's how it really is. And,
yeah.
It's just like I don't know, sort of like religion with my kids. They have all the sacraments until what's the one when you're 12 or 13, the confirmation.
Yeah, I don't have that.
And then I make them go to church until like 10th grade, and then you can make up your own mind. Now you're an adult. So
yeah. Yeah, church is something I found. I've talked about this in the last show, which
she's getting back into it.
I never was in it really. I went to Catholic high school, and we
I wish I could find my spirituality. I'm not kidding.
Yeah,
we were talking about this before. So
yeah,
good for you.
It's important to have faith in something outside of yourself. I think. Yeah,
and you want to be happy. In in your soul, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you'll find it. We'll figure it out. We're gonna go together.
I'm getting a little old to find it.
No, it's never too late. No, actually, I went to church and I saw. I met a woman in the bathroom when I left to go to the bathroom, and she was, I think she's 76, and I got in a quick conversation with her, and she said it was her first time coming to church.
Wow.
So never too late.
All right, we'll see.
You're definitely not that old.
Yes.
Right? No.
No. Not yet. That's next year.
Okay, so I guess fun question. What's something that people would be surprised to know about you?
I'm a ballerina. No. See, my son does. His girlfriend's his head ballerina in the Charleston Ballet, but that's not. I read a lot.
Is he?
Yeah. Well, he's not him. His girlfriend.
His girlfriend.
Is.
Okay.
Yeah. His girlfriend Angelina Bartolosi. She's a Googler. She's unbelievable.
Awesome.
He's the lead in all the big dance parts in the Charleston Ballet.
Oh, awesome.
And he's a firefighter down there. I love to read. A lot of people are surprised I read so much because I have that Long Island thug accent. It's terrible, I know. So everyone thinks you can't be that intelligent when you talk like that. But,
yeah, no.
I guess I like to read. What else would surprise you?
That does surprise me. I can't.
I run every morning and look at the size of me. You know how hard it's got to be to stay this fat when you run every morning. So.
Yeah, no. Reading something was one of my New Year's resolutions, and I don't know how to get in. Do you have any tips? Like, did you ever struggle with reading, or you always just loved it?
I mean, even so, I'm the fifth of 6 kids. My mom had 6 kids in 6 years.
Wow.
And when we were little, back then it was like one TV, and you had to vote on what you wanted to watch. And they never wanted to watch what I wanted to watch cartoons, and they wanted to watch 1 out of 12 or football, or and I like sports too. But so I just go read, and I'd read like when I was 2nd, 3rd grade, I'd read my brothers and sisters' books. They were like reading in 10th Tale of Two Cities and stuff like that. I mean, I've read all the classics, and some of them are so overrated.
Mhm.
I mean, Hemingway is, besides For Whom the Bell Tolls, I think the rest of his stuff is a drunken ramble, but that's just my opinion. But, you know, and then I commuted to the city for 9 years,
Right.
and I just read books all the time, just, you know.
And that was because you're also in the business world. Like, besides comedy, your career
Yeah,
is in
I
sales?
no,
Wait,
it's
you just told me.
consulting.
Consulting.
Yeah, I negotiate leases for AT&T, Dish, T-Mobile, Verizon, all those cell phone antennas you see all over on water tanks and houses and that kind of stuff. They have to switch out the technology every once in a while, and my lucky job is dealing with lawyers all day.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Eh.
pays the bills. I don't love it, but it pays the bills.
Yeah.
I live with 3 homeless people. They call my kids. Feed me. I got nothing.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah, that's how I feel, honestly, because
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to, you know, the psychic told me I'm going to move in a year, actually. So,
Come on, check her out.
yeah. Yeah.
Someone's got to jump on her. But we got. I'm an empty nester now,
Okay.
so I don't know if Rick will ever get there. But
Yeah,
so-
I'm not
so
sure.
2 kids in school, and one son moved away. So my wife's always manically depressed when they come home and go out. So we've been empty nesters since last year.
Mm-hmm.
So my son is a senior in college, and my daughter's a sophomore. But it's even when they come home for the month of Christmas and then they go back, my wife is manically depressed for a month. So
Oh,
that's what I'm dealing with.
yeah. I know. It's hard. I think something that I've really been thinking extra about is the fact that it's like your first time living, my parents' first time living. And it's like we all want to be living life. And I just feel like I could never give myself enough to like my parents and my friends and
Right.
myself. And I always feel guilty if I'm doing one thing and I'm missing out.
Nah, that'll change.
You know what I
You'll
mean?
meet someone, and then
It's like
and you don't mind spending all the time with that person,
Right.
And then you start having kids, and you don't mind you love that part. You'll love every bit of it,
I'm so excited to have kids.
and you'll always make room for your family. But
Yeah.
that becomes the big part of your life. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. Yep.
Yeah.
But it's so hard for me to pretend I miss my kids. No, I'm kidding. No, I do. I miss them. I do. I wish, and because, that's another thing. Like everyone always says, oh, do you get along with them? If you don't get along, there's nothing wrong. Some people don't get along with their kids.
Yeah.
Some kids are pain in the
Yeah.
and they're hard to live with. My kids I get along with very well, actually, but I'm afraid of my daughter.
Yeah.
I hope this isn't a big listening audience because if this gets back to my daughter, she knows though. I'm afraid of her. We're all scared shit of her. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to curse, but
No, what is she? No, you can curse. It's okay. This is actually, we're allowed to curse in here. I don't curse a lot.
yeah. Since she's been
general,
6 years old, she just runs the house. So like she'd be yelling at me, and she's very, very smart, which is, she'd be
Thanks to
yelling.
you. Like she would, your kids are a reflection of you and
Yeah.
how you raised them. So that's
Well,
good.
I'm not that
kudos
smart,
to
but
you.
she'd be yelling at her brothers, and they come downstairs and like, can you believe she said? I'm like, guys, just hide down here and don't have eye contact.
Yeah.
Your life will be better. So she intimidates all of us, but she's very smart. She's going to school to be some kind of doctor engineer. She wants to revive nerves in like paralyzed people.
Wow.
I think. I don't know.
That's cool.
See-
I actually know somebody who has
Yeah.
back problems. His nerves are pretty
Yeah,
much shot in his like lower spine, and he
Yep.
limps. He can't really bend his leg, and he is in pain all the time. And it's nerve dead. His nerves are dead, basically.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
She basically, I guess, on computers they take a picture of your nerve and break it all down. Almost like how she explained it to me was, it's like if you cut a loaf of bread and you pull out a slice and you
Mhm.
figure out what's wrong with that slice, then the next slice, then the next slice, and that's what she's trying to put all that together, I guess. So.
Good for her. Yeah, she is smart.
Yeah, she is.
I tried to do science too. I switched my major 4 times in college, and so all over the place myself. I did a year of exercise science.
Well, that's almost like
So that's like
physical
the weed
therapy,
out
almost.
classes, basically. Yeah,
Right.
that occupational therapy is what I wanted to do, and then I
Right.
did sales, and then I did speech pathology, and then
Wait, so sales is like business you did? I mean, like,
Yep.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So I went from science, business, and then I transferred schools. So
Right.
had a whole transfer, speech pathology. I did that for like a month.
Just didn't like it.
Just didn't like it. I was overwhelmed. I'm not a science girl.
But
Like
what made you? What gave you the urge to do that? Just wanted to help people.
Yeah, helping people is one of my like core like drivers in life, I guess.
Mhm.
I love just
Yeah.
having a positive impact on people. But I realized that like you could do that in anything that you do. You can do that when you're walking,
Yep.
Anywhere in
Or
the
even
coffee
talking
shop.
about business. If
But-
you make a lot of money, you can help a lot of people. too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like, now my new goal is to employ a lot of people. I know one day I'm going to start a business that will grow large enough to like give a lot of people jobs. That's kind of the
Hope
new
I'm still
goal.
around. Hope I'm still around.
Yeah.
Don't lose my number.
I
could use more.
won't. I won't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm jealous of your daughter, my older brother. He's a physical therapist. People that can muscle through the schooling. and not be weeded out like me. That's
But
cool.
even,
Good for them.
Even people like they know young, they know what they want to do.
Yeah.
I was always envious of that too. I'm like, I'm old and I still really don't know what I want to do.
Well, I was
You know
going to
what I mean?
ask, like, for like comedy, you fell into it kind of, and
Yeah.
then your current,
My current
like,
job was like, listen,
you just fell into that.
our generation was, when you're 14, all right, we're painting houses for $10 an hour. Okay, I'm a house painter. Well, cutting lawns is $11 an hour. Okay, I'm a landscaper.
Mhm.
Oh, lifeguarding is $14. Okay, I'm a life. It was whatever made more money. So our generation was, and we didn't have parents telling us major in what you like, and when you're good at it, the money will come. They would just like go out and make money.
But I adopted that mentality, just go out and make money though, because like my parents did want me to major in something that I wanted to do, and they did want me to like have a strong mind going into it, but I was just wired like your generation. I just like to do all the odd jobs and just keep it make money anytime I can.
But the oldest, stupidest saying in the world is, love what you love your. No one, I mean, unless you're a rock star or a pro athlete, you don't really love your job. Don't hate your job.
Yeah.
There's so many people stuck in jobs they hate.
Yeah.
Don't just, you can get up every day. I don't hate going there. I don't hate the people I work with. I don't hate it. You'll be so much happier.
Right.
That's what I've found, at least. So
yeah, don't expect to be fully in love with it, because then you're ultimately going to be let down.
I've had jobs I've hated, and it's like, it's just toxic. It feels like it takes years off your life.
Right.
Then you get to a place where you're like, all right, I wish I was making more money, but that's life. But I'm not doing bad, and I don't hate it. So
yeah,
that's what you strive for.
And jobs are like stepping stones, right?
Yep.
So
you always try to help people along the way too.
Yeah, and I'm going through my own little personal career journey, which I won't go into really that deep, but yeah, I think it's exciting, just because.
Okay, another show. That's another show.
That's another show.
When Julia's here.
Once I have a good announcement or update or something, that's good. But yeah, just know that you're never stuck, and that you have the opportunity to uproot and pivot. So have you done that, like a major pivot ever?
Well, I worked on I worked on a commodity exchange from 23 until 30.
Okay.
And I was a trader on the coffee, sugar, and cocoa exchange. And I saw the writing on the wall.
What does that mean?
There was an exchange where you
coffee, sugar, and cocoa exchange.
Yeah, it was down at 8 World Trade Center.
Okay.
It got blown up in '93, and then it was gone in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like all the coffee makers, cocoa makers, and sugar makers around the world had these rings where you traded commodities. And I was working in that. I was a trader. I was doing well, but everyone was saying this is all going to be automated. When we're not going to need traders anymore. And I got out at just the right time. So I got out in like 2000. When did I didn't. 96.
Okay.
So I did it from 87 to 96. Yes. So, but I was there in 93 for the first bombing, and we thought a transformer blew up downstairs. We heard the boom, and they had a fire drill. And we're all going down the steps, and we're looking at each other, and all of a sudden there's like soot under everyone's noses, and we're like, "What the hell is that?" Then we got outside and found out that someone tried to blow up the garage. This is 1993.
Wait, I didn't know that there was a bombing in 1993.
Yeah, yep.
In the city. Wow.
And the same guys, we didn't pay attention. The same guys came back and blew it up again. So.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it was quite interesting. All these.
Wow, what a story!
All these goombas from Little Italy come out. They're all traders on a commodity exchange, and the fire truck pulls up with all these air tanks and everything. And they're like, "Hey, can we help?" And the firefighters go, "Yeah, take these tanks and go start handing them out if you see people who need them." And they were all like, well, we thought you were going to say, no, you don't have to.
We thought you were going to say, go find safety and just get out.
Wow. Yeah, it was crazy. Wow. Crazy. But, and then, so my big change was they were starting this company called T-Mobile in 1996. And a friend interviewed me for the job. And I actually interviewed for like a sales position, but ended up getting a managerial position with a better salary and my qualifications, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I've stayed in that business ever since, but I changed. I went from working for T-Mobile to a consultant in 2002, 2003. And been doing that ever since. So
amazing.
I don't hate it. I don't love it, but pays the bills, and you do a little comedy on the side, have some fun, meet some great people.
Yeah. So like I guess, help my dad. Yeah. You're everywhere and at once as well. I feel like you got the whole friend group. I just see you and my dad and Brian the most, but you guys have your hands in a lot, and I think that's what keeps life exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you don't want to silo yourself off to one thing. So I guess when you're not doing any of these jobs, how do you unwind? That's the
weird part of I like golf and sports and things like that, but the when you're an adult and your kids are little and there's all these sports going on and you're like, you never have a free moment.
Mm-hmm.
And people used to tell me, you're going to miss that. I'd be like, I don't know if I'm going to miss it. This is crazy. You're running from one game to another game to another game. They have practices on Sunday night at 9:00 at night, like indoor batting cages. And then it goes quick and they're all out of it and you sort of do miss it.
Mm-hmm.
That used to be my release. It was like, going to watch my kids play sports.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half to sit down and watch. I babysit a bunch and I take them to their sports. It's actually, I look forward to it. It's nice. You just chat.
I do too.
Chat with the parents, sit down, relax.
And I just love watching anyone play any sport.
And
I do.
Yeah.
So
it's hard not to get into it though. Were you a parent that would just scream on the sidelines, or
No.
did you respect the ref?
I was the guy who was out in left field by himself. You know, 'cause
Okay.
I have the Irish whisper where
Yeah.
I say you suck too loud and such. But and then people would meet me and go, "You're such a nice guy. You always look so angry out there." I'm like, "Nah, I just don't."
Yeah.
My mother would sit in the crowd like with other people. My son was like 6 years old, and he makes like an all-star team for like t-ball. It's not even a big deal. But my mother's sitting in the crowd with all the other parents around her, and she's like, another kid on the team gets, she goes, "Oh, this kid again? Oh, he stinks." And like loud enough where everyone can hear it.
Yeah, no, parents are vocal.
And then she's like, "Oh, he needs a haircut." That's the Irish whisper where I'm like, "Mom, I'm going to have to take you out in left field with me."
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's something I never understood because I obviously played sports growing up, or maybe that's not obvious. If anyone didn't know, I played like soccer, all of them. And I just remember the parents like losing their, and just screaming, but
just makes everyone uncomfortable.
It makes everyone uncomfortable, and I never understood it. But once I started going to the girls' games that I babysit, and I saw them get pushed or their hair get pulled or this or that, and I wanted to start yelling. So I kind of.
It's a different. It's different when it's your kid. It is. It is.
Yeah, and that's not even my kid. But when I watch them, I act like they are.
But you got to bite your tongue. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to bite my tongue a few times.
Yep.
But life.
That's how it works. You'll see. But you just enjoy every step of it. I have friends guy friends who roll their eyes and like, when they're little and this and that. I'm like, I've enjoyed every part of it. When they're infants, I love it. You can hold them. They don't want to run away yet, and every age I've loved. They drive you nuts in their teens, but it's still a lot of fun.
I think building a family is one of the most rewarding things you can do.
Oh, definitely. I wish we had
everything
more
else aside, yeah.
We were supposed to have 4.
Okay.
But we had 2 boys, and my wife was sure we're having another boy, so she was like, "Yeah, we're gonna have 4." Then we had a girl, and she was like, "No,
done.
No more. We're done." Yeah,
because that's like double the money for the girls, kind of.
You can't afford 1, have 2.
But there's a pink
tax.
tax.
2, have 3.
There's a pink tax that we cannot ignore. Do you agree?
So my daughter's always
product.
swearing. So she's in a sorority now, and she's like, "That's saving me money somehow."
Oh no.
No, it's not. So it's $800 cheaper a semester. Yeah, but I have to fly you here, fly you there. I have to send her money for fundraisers. I'm like, why am I sending money for you to raise money for other stuff?
Yeah, when you already paid your dues, and when you already I know,
And
it's crazy. I did a sorority for maybe 2 months. Once I was initiated and went through the whole process, I left because I didn't want to pay. I was doing it.
Yeah, I'm sort of surprised by my daughter too, because I didn't think she'd be the sorority type, but she loves it, loves every part of it.
Good. It's different at every school, and honestly, every sorority is very different. So, like the one I joined, maybe wasn't the best at whatever. No hate to anyone. I just didn't click with them all. But I think it could be so beneficial for girls, especially if you just find like.
So she had like
wherever you go, you're gonna have 5 core people.
Yeah, she had like 5 girls on her floor her freshman year. They were all good friends. They all got into the same sorority.
Right.
It's not a real debutante sorority. It's perfect for her.
Yeah.
And still stays with all her best friends. And
good.
But they do all this. She's flying to St. Louis in a couple weeks for some. The whole board goes for some convention. I'm like, yeah, just.
Oh, she's on the board.
Yeah,
good for her. That's good too.
Yeah,
because that's going to prepare her for the
life.
Yeah, because you have to be more organized and stuff.
When I was in college, if you were on the board if you weren't there that night. Who's not here? Okay, he's the secretary. All right, he's the treasurer. He's not here. It's his job.
Were you in? Were you?
No, I rushed a couple fraternities. I never joined one.
Okay.
And Maryland had a ton of them. Maryland's known for its Greek life. They film movies there. Big U-shaped fraternity and sorority houses around this main square where it used to be the football field. And they filmed all old movies there. What was the one with Rob Lowe and all the famous actors? Something with a fire, Halo's Fire or St. Elmo's Fire.
That's it?
Yes.
I was going to say we can look it up.
Yes. And
awesome.
Yeah, so very big Greek life at Maryland, but no, I never joined a frat. I rushed them all because they gave away free beer.
Was it still the same price? Like, was it expensive back in the day, like as it is now? Because now I think it's a little ridiculous.
Oh, it's totally ridiculous. So
yeah.
in my out of state in Maryland when I was going to school, I think was between like 13 grand. So you take every semester you take a $2,500 loan. You'd work the summer, a job in the summer, lifeguarding, whatever you would do, and bartending. Save up 5 or 6 grand, and then I got a Pell Grant because my dad passed away when I was very young, and then I got some for lacrosse. So I was never like, I have to take out 20 grand in loans. It's crazy now. It's insane.
Yeah, I have like around that in loans. It's so upsetting.
Yeah,
it's so upsetting because I don't even know fully how I'm supposed to pay them back because I went on the because we were hit with the save plan, right? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if your kids were any of your kids like pushing off their loans like how
because once you start paying, you
paying.
Then if you stop paying, you're delinquent.
Right. I never started paying. Hopefully nobody sees this. That works for anyone.
No,
but I don't know.
Once you start, you have to keep paying, but they don't rush you to start. Once you do start, you have to pay.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
And the interest used to be not that bad, like 2.1% or something. Now it's like 7%.
8%. Yeah, one of mine has 8%. My 2 highest loans that I took out, 8%.
I was $64 a month.
Crazy.
And I was delinquent on that, and I was like, so my went up from 64 a month to like 175 a month.
Wow.
And I asked at one point, I go, how much is going towards the 64 a month? And the girl was like, $54 a month is going. So in other words, I'm losing $10 and paying 100 more.
Wow.
So I took out a loan and paid off my loans. Took out a better loan and paid off my loans and paid that back.
Okay, so that's smart.
Yeah,
I guess.
But no, I didn't. You didn't struggle as much. The prices now, I mean, that's insane. And I remember my mother going, "God, 13,000 is insane," and that was out of state at Maryland, where now I tell my kids.
Yeah, I was in state. This is my in state. I mean, I was half out of state, but
keep it to SUNY prices or whatever, which is basically 25 grand a year.
Yeah.
And you're happy with that. Mm-hmm. That's insane. I got 2 kids in school, and then even they have to fly. One's in Florida, one's in Michigan State. So put another 10 grand each.
Yeah, on the flights and all of that.
And then you go there and get drunk and
you go there and you tip everyone. And
yeah, exactly.
Spend more money and you don't have cash anymore.
Johnny Big Shot. Yes.
Yeah.
No money, but it's all fun.
Yeah, awesome. So we're almost done with the show because this time flew. This time is fun, but I have one last question.
Sure.
If you could go back and give your younger self, or I guess anyone advice, like major life advice, your go-to.
I bailed out I bailed out too many times on too many things. I should have finished where I started.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to sports, college, too many things where I was like, I was right there and I was like, this is too hard, and I backed out. Goes back to Artie's book, no is a lie or can't is a lie.
Can't is a lie.
Yeah, I can't do this. I should have just gotten tough and done it. So
yeah,
and then you everyone's like, you talk to so many people. I have no regrets. Everyone has regrets. Everyone.
I have to say I have similar one. I'm similar to you because things got tough for me at High Point University. I transferred.
Right.
Things didn't work. I wasn't doing well in my majors. I switched my major. My first job in the city, I lasted 10 months. It got really tough. I left.
Yeah.
But I have to say the same.
So
it all led me to where I am today. I wouldn't be doing this right now if had
in 20 years, you might look back and go, you know what? I should have stuck with that job.
Right.
I was good at that.
Yeah.
And it got tough and I left. So
yeah,
stick with it. Just tough it out.
I like that advice.
Especially your generation, and you're so ahead of the game because you like to get out there and talk to people. And you find with this generation, they hide in cubicles and think they should be paid $300,000.
Yeah.
Just the math doesn't work. So.
I know. It's a whole other conversation to be had.
You put yourself out there. 27's your year. 2 years.
27. I have 2 more years until things really start looking up.
Hear that,
right?
Rick? Hear that? 2 years.
2 years. Yeah. My husband. No.
We got to hang around for 2 more years. We hope so.
Yeah. We'll see. But if not, there's things for me to do everything on my own. So
my wife was 28 when she married me. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's right around.
All right.
Well, it's probably already starting to hit you, but like in your late 20s, there's so many weddings and everyone's getting married and engaged.
Yeah.
And
I see it all over.
And you feel like, and you're broke and you go into you're like, okay, yeah, I can't wait. And you're like, how am I going to afford this? Oh my God.
Right. But I think that's the good thing about it is when people start families when they weren't expecting to, or when they get married before they're ready, or, when things come before you're ready, it forces you into a life where you have to figure it out and you have to make the money and you have to get your life in order. So,
my son Connor's going through that right now. So he went down to Charleston and became a firefighter, and they bought a house, him and his girlfriend.
Oh, wow.
So you can't really screw around anymore.
Right.
And he's like, Dad, how do you do it?
No extra money. Yeah.
I said, there was plenty of nights I stared at the ceiling and was like, how are we going to do this? I don't know. But you just figure it out. You do it. You get another job. They have a dog too.
Yeah.
So it's like their kid, but
Yeah.
you know,
That's
they're-
expensive. Dogs are expensive. I
Yeah.
can't wait to get one.
Yeah.
Hey, Mom, if you're listening,
what
we need a
kind?
dog. I want a golden doodle that
That.
doesn't shed because my mom doesn't want the shedding, but
Okay.
um,
Connor's got a goldie,
Yeah.
but not a doodle.
a
Just-
golden retriever. That's my dream dog. That's my dream dog. But we
So-
can't have that in my house because
sheds or.
the sheds. Yeah.
But so when we were kids, everyone had mutts or German shepherds.
Mm-hmm.
That's how old we are. And then for a while, like not pit bulls, but Dobermans were in style for a while. But now it's all goldies.
Yes.
I live by the water tank at my house in my town, and everyone walks their dog there. And I'm always like, is that the same dog? Because it's a different owner. No, they're all different goldies. Just 8 million goldies. Everyone's got goldies.
Yeah. Yeah. It's they're the best. They're the best. They're so happy all the
Yeah,
time.
they are.
I hope they are. I mean, that's what we see. Who knows? Maybe they're not.
Yes.
Maybe they have tough days too.
Could be like my daughter Caroline. She's great in public, but she's mean and
Yeah. Too good. Okay.
Yep.
So we're coming up on the time. I feel like I could talk to you for a whole other hour, but
You got it. We'll do whenever you want.
Bobby has shows to do. Shout out Bobby, who just hit that nice. Yep, that's Bobby.
And buy his swag.
And buy his
stuff.
swag. Yeah, Strong Island Studios.
Strong
you guys,
Island. He's
if you
got a lot
want
of
your
good
own
stuff.
show, call Bobby, and he can help you out.
We have a number, Bob? Yeah, he'll throw it up next show.
Yeah, just hit us up, Paradise Studios NY on Facebook or Instagram.
There you go. There you go.
The voice of God.
Yeah, and major shout out to Pat O'Rourke.
And Julia.
And Julia. Oh, yeah. And
I'm
Julia.
Julia.
And Julia. And Lifeback, of course.
Yes.
For sponsoring this show. We hope you guys enjoyed this one and look forward to seeing you next week on Let's Talk About It.
The
I'll
Gab
play my
Fest.
song. Yes. Yes. We'll go out to the same song that we started with. This is Take It Easy by the Eagles, by
It's
the way.
so true. Listen to the words.
Yes, listen to the words. Every song I play on the show. So good. Thank you so much.
Kidding?
Yeah, you're amazing.
Hold on, here we go.
No, you saved me. I was like,